Hi, I'm Hannah Ayub, and these ridiculous butterfly-like markings on my face are the paranasal sinuses. Now, you might have never thought about these holes on your face. You might have been born without them. Some people are. It might be that they've just never really caused you any problem at all. Or you might have sometimes become very conscious of your sinuses existing, for example, when you've had a bad cold or a bout of hay fever. But for some of us, it's not really a case of whether our sinuses are going to hurt on a given day, it's how much. My sinuses cause me near constant problems, and they also get infected quite a lot, which can hurt even more and cause really nasty bouts of dizziness. Which has made me really interested in what exactly are they and why do we have them? Sinuses are small empty spaces in our skull, and they tend to be named for the bones that they're located in. So we have the maxillary sinuses in our cheeks, these pink blobs. These green blobs are the frontal sinuses in our forehead. The ethmoid sinuses are these little rows of blue blobs between my eyes, and the sphenoid sinus, which is represented by the red blob, is actually behind the nose. Now, these spaces are normally air-filled with a thin line of mucus, and they connect to the nose. But because they're closed in and they tend to be warm and moist, they get infected really easily. Now, an infection can cause inflammation in the sinuses, which is called sinusitis. And chronic sinusitis is when that inflammation becomes constant. People with chronic sinusitis don't just feel blocked up. We can also feel fatigue, dizziness, we can get a popping and crackling in our ears because this tube that connects the ears to the nose becomes filled with fluid. You can also get a loss of smell, you can get toothache because your mouth and your sinuses share nerves in common. You can also get a cough because your sinuses tend to drip quite nasty stuff into the lungs. All in all, it's not great. Chronic sinusitis is also surprisingly common. In 2015, 12.5% of the US population were diagnosed with chronic sinusitis, so sinusitis that has gone on for more than 3 months. And in the UK, it's estimated to affect about 1 in 10 people. So the sinuses cause loads of problems. So why exactly do we have them? Well, no one is really sure, which is quite confusing. They might be there to help humidify the air that we breathe in through our nose. They might be there to add resonance to our voice. The sinuses might just make our skull lighter so it's easier to carry. And it's also possible that the sinuses help with the immune support of the nose. The thing is, people born without sinuses don't really experience significant problems in any of these areas, which means that some experts think that our sinuses might be a little bit like the appendix. We inherited them from our ancestors, but we no longer really need them anymore. Part of why the sinuses cause so many problems is the shape of our face. So in humans, we've got quite a flat face, whereas in a lot of other mammals, the snout helps fluid from the sinuses to drain out of the nose. In humans, the holes that fluid drains out of are quite small, and if they're even a little bit swollen or when we're just stood up, fluid can stop draining out altogether, which means that they're more likely to get infected and more likely to become inflamed. So the frustrating conclusion here is that we don't really know what sinuses do or whether they do anything at all, but at least they're pretty and slightly shaped like a butterfly, although I'm starting to think that I'd prefer a snout maybe. So I'd love to know from you which redundant part of your body causes you the most grief.